Today, we're diving into a massive global conflict. But this one isn't being fought with armies or on battlefields. Nope, it's all happening inside the tiny circuits of the world's most advanced technology. This is the great chip game, and the prize is AI supremacy. So here's the central question, right? It really gets to the heart of what power looks like in the 21st century. We're not talking about traditional warfare anymore. The real fight, the one that matters, is for control over the tiny, incredibly powerful brains that are going to run our future. So how do you win that?
It's as simple and as complicated as that. You don't just try to play the game better than your opponent. You fundamentally change the board. You change the pieces, and you rewrite the rules of engagement entirely. And believe me, that is exactly what's happening between the US and China right now.
To really get what's going on, you have to see this as a huge strategic contest. It's basically a high-stakes chess match where every single move is calculated. And the prize? Well, the prize couldn't be bigger. So let's set up the board. On one side, you've got player 1, China. On the other side, player 2, the United States. And caught right in the middle, like the most powerful queen on the board, is the tech giant NVIDIA. And what are they all playing for? Nothing less than total global dominance in artificial intelligence. All right, let's zoom in on China's side of the board first. It's crucial to understand that their moves aren't just knee-jerk reactions. No, this is a series of deliberate, carefully planned moves, all part of a much bigger long-term strategy. It's this really clever three-step dance. Okay, step 1. They put a partial restriction on NVIDIA's powerful H20 chip, citing security concerns. What this really does is give their own domestic companies like Huawei some breathing room to catch up. Step 2, they don't issue a total all-out ban. Why? This keeps the door cracked open just enough to avoid provoking a massive counterattack from the US. And then step 3, they use all this time they've bought to go full steam ahead on their own tech, with the ultimate goal of completely replacing foreign chips. And this table really lays bare the logic behind it all. Every tactic has a clear goal, but it also comes with a huge risk. That partial ban? Yeah, it helps local companies, but it could also slow down China's own AI progress in the short term. And keeping NVIDIA in the market? Well, that's a gamble that depends entirely on the US and NVIDIA playing along. It's a real high-wire act. So with China playing this intricate game, how does the US respond? Well, not with a sledgehammer. They come back with a really sophisticated countermove of their own. One that's designed to keep control while still letting their own champion, NVIDIA, get in there and compete. Okay, so on the surface, the official term is export easing. It sounds like the US is making things easier. But when you peel back the layers, you see what's really going on. It's basically a hidden export tax, which lets American companies keep making money, combined with a very powerful tracking system to see exactly where these chips end up. And this tracking technology, this is the real sticking point. This is everything. For the US, it's a strategic gold mine. Imagine knowing if your most advanced tech ever ends up in a rival's secret military lab. But for China, absolutely not. This is the ultimate backdoor into their systems, a security threat that is completely non-negotiable. And that, right there, is the foundation of their entire public argument. This is where the game gets even deeper, you know? We have to look beneath the official policies and the corporate press releases. Because under the surface, there are these unwritten rules, these ancient strategies that give us a window into the whole psychology of this conflict. So the first tactic is this idea of yu qing guozheng. To catch something, you first have to let it go. China signals a big no to the H20 chip, but they're careful not to slam the door shut. This move keeps NVIDIA on the hook, hoping they can still make a deal, and it gives China all the flexibility and control. It's brilliant, really. Then you've got the second tactic, 守株待兔, which means waiting by a tree stump for a hare to just show up. The logic here is so simple and patient. China knows that a profit-driven company like NVIDIA is desperate to get into their market. So China doesn't need to chase. They just wait, totally confident that NVIDIA will eventually come to them with workarounds, and in doing so, reveal their whole hand. And the third tactic is 钓鱼测底, fishing to test how deep the water is. That so-called security review of the H20 chip, it's not just offensive, it's a full-on intelligence-gathering mission. It's the perfect excuse to get that chip into their labs, take it apart, and most importantly, try to reverse engineer exactly how that American tracking technology works. So all these moves and countermoves, all this strategy, it all converges on one central point. It puts one company, NVIDIA, in what looks like an almost impossible position. This one sentence, which really captures the strategic thinking in Beijing, just frames the entire trap perfectly. It's a cold, calculated challenge. It basically says, we know your need for profit is your biggest weakness, and we're going to use that to our advantage over the long run. So this leaves NVIDIA with just an awful choice. I mean, look at this. Option A, you give in to China's terms. You sell them weaker chips, you take a price cut, you damage your global brand trust, and you risk just becoming another commodity. Or option B, you say no. You walk away from the world's biggest market, you let your rivals take over, you lose out on billions in revenue, and you make your shareholders furious. It's a strategic pincer move with no easy way out. And so, at the end of the day, it leaves us with this one big, lingering question. While these two superpowers play this incredible game for global dominance, are the giant corporations that literally build our modern world actually players? Or are they just becoming pawns in a much, much larger game? The answer to that is going to define our technological world for decades to come.